Hello, my name is Enrique Rodriguez Quintanilla. I'm an MBA candidate from Megade Business School. Right now, I'm in CEMEX offices in Mexico City, and I'm gonna interview Arturo Gaetanco Barrubias, a sustainability manager in CEMEX Mexico. Hello, Arturo. How are you?
Hi everyone, good morning. Hi Enrique, nice to meet you, and thank you for inviting us to share our experience in the innovation issues in CEMEX.
No, thank you. Thank you for your time and for your patience in this interview. First of all, can you tell us about you? What you do? What's your interest?
Yes, well, I'm Arturo Gaetanco Barrubias. I'm a sustainability manager for CEMEX Mexico. And my activities or my responsibilities in CEMEX is to take care about the sustainability in our concrete or ready-mix products.
Okay.
We try to figure out how can we reduce our impact of our products, services, and operations. Take into account that sustainability is one of our main strategies in CEMEX.
Arturo, can you tell us about the vision and strategy in CEMEX and a brief business overview?
Of course, Enrique. One of our main purpose in CEMEX is to build a better future. This building a better future is for all our stakeholders, and ensuring sustainability in fully embedded in our business is one of the four main pillars of our strategy. These four pillars are: people are number one assessed, customer centricity, market focus, and sustainability. So all our operations must focus on these four pillars of our strategy.
Okay, thank you. Arturo, can you tell us about the company profile?
Yes, of course. CEMEX is a global building materials that provides high quality products and services to customers and communities in more than 50 countries around the world. We have a rich history of improving well-being of those we serve through innovative build solutions, efficiency advancements, and efforts to promote a sustainable future. We have presence in many countries, and we are a company that was founded more than 100 years ago. Our founder, Lorenzo Zambrano, was a visionary man that always support the idea to take into our operations with the technology. He always tell us about the innovation importance in our operations and our work. So CEMEX is a company that is focused in innovative technologies.
Thank you, Arturo. Talking about the innovative technologies, we are looking for some innovative initiative from different companies in order to improve the sustainability and its three factors: social, environmental, and economic. Did CEMEX have something about this?
Yes, Enrique, and that's very good that you mentioned that, because take into account that sustainability is one of our main strategies of the company. We have been working a lot in some sustainability in innovations. So we have many of them in different countries. Mexico is one of the main creators of this kind of innovatives. And we have a portfolio of many innovative, but we could mention something like waste to value. We were using different raw materials to put into our products. We are trying to change the way we operate our plants. For example, we have a project, a very interesting project that names is FIRSU. FIRSU, by its initials in Spanish, is the inorganic fraction of the urban solid waste. And we are using this waste to to create energy for our operations in our cement plants. We have to know that Cemex has four main building materials: cement, ready-mix concrete, aggregates, admixtures, and other trading of building materials. So this initiative is focused on our cement plants.
Okay, thank you. Do Cemex have other examples? Or?
Yes, for example, this initiative is focused on how we operate.
Okay.
But we have another initiative that is focused in the way we fabricate the products.
Okay.
For example, we can produce cement with some recycled products or subproducts from other industries.
Okay.
We also are producing ready-mix concrete with recycled raw materials or subproducts of other industries. We are trying to take some advantage of or try to have a second life for the water. So we are using water from other industries to fabricate our ready-mix products. And well, we have a lot of other projects, and we are trying to close the circuit, state our impacts as a voluntary inventories of greenhouse gases emissions. So we are trying to state and inform voluntary how much we are impacting. So we are trying to do all the circuit in the sustainability strategy.
Okay, and in your experience, which of these innovatives has the more impact in the social, economic, and environment factors?
Okay, we could say that many of our projects has a major contribution in these three areas.
Okay.
And it's important that you mention that, because if we are talking about something sustainable, is because it attends the three areas. It's not sustainable if I missing the social impact or the economic impact or the environmental impact. It must has the three areas to consider it sustainable. So I think one of the major projects that we have is the Spheres project.
Okay.
And let me tell you why. 30 years ago, when the greenhouse emissions, the ozone was become a major issue in the world, we start to measure the impact of the many industries. And one of the major contributors of the GHG emissions are the cement industry.
Okay.
And we have, like 30 years ago, something that we call the gold rule. And that gold rule says that if I produce 1 ton of cement, I was generating 1 ton of dioxide of carbon, the CO2. So since then, the cement industry in all world, not just Cemex, start to working to see how can we reduce that impact.
Okay.
So we, if we remember how we produce the cement, its process needs to heat an oven at 1,500 degrees
Okay.
to fabricate the clinker, that is the base of the cement. So if we could imagine the quantity of energy we need to heat that oven,
Okay.
is a lot of energy. So we used to do that with fossil fuels.
Okay.
We burn
100% fossil fuel.
Yes,
Okay.
30 years ago that was the way
Okay.
we operate the ovens. So we are sure that the major contribution of the contamination of the GHG emission comes from the fossil fuel we use in our cement plants. So we start to figure out how can we replace that fossil fuel for another kind of fuel. So we start to research some alternative fuels, and we become with the FIRSU.
Okay.
So the FIRSU is well, it's not a rocket science. It's not a we didn't create the manner the technology that we create energy with garbage. So we try to put together all the technology available. So start to take advantage of the garbage, of the waste of the cities to create energy.
And how did the innovation emerge in Cemex?
Well, as I said before, Lorenzo Zambrano, our founder,
Okay.
he was a visionary man. So he has a task group
Okay.
to start researching about the alternative energies, alternative fuels. How can we take advantage better for our operations? So, in all that work that people were did, we found that the waste issue problematic is not just help us to solve the problem of our fossil fuel. So we realized that the waste generated in the cities was a problem for the cities. So if we use that waste to our processes, we were not just solving one problem.
Okay.
We are solving more than one, and not just for us. Instead of us, is the community, the cities, and we are taking off a problem of them. So all the waste generated in Mexico, we don't have the culture to separate the waste, the garbage. So we have many issues with the wastes in the cities. So this project help also the way that we manage the wastes in the cities. So we are trying to attend more than one problem, and as we said before, the sustainability is not just environmental thing; it's a social thing and economic thing. So when we take off the cost to the municipalities to manage that waste, we are attending one more problem for the municipality. So I think this project is a very complete project and attending more than one areas and issues that we have.
So perfectly. That's exactly what we're looking for, like an innovative that helps improve like the economic of the company, but also help like social and environment situations of the cities or the area where the company is.
If we remember, the sustainability definition is to comply our needs of our actual generation without compromising the satisfaction of the needs of the future generations.
Okay.
So if we could see the numbers right nowadays, we are requiring the resources of more than one planet Earth.
Okay.
So we must make sure that the future generations can comply their needs. So if we are now taking advantage of using the waste, for example, we are assuring that the next generation could have the resources they need to live.
Arturo, I know that you mentioned before and during the interview all the sense of this innovative in Cemex, but at the beginning of the interview you tell us about the vision and the strategy of Cemex. Can you tell us about how this innovation is related to the vision of Cemex?
Yes. As you said, we mentioned 4 pillars of our strategy. One of them is the sustainability.
Okay.
So CEMEX has the strong commitment with their employees and with the stakeholders and with the communities who surround our operations. So that pillar is very important for us, and is important for us because we have to involve all of our employees in our day-to-day operations. In that day-to-day operations, we are aware that all our operations has an impact. So this pillar of our strategy is very important because all employees are aware in our day-to-day operations. So they are aware of the impacts of our operations, and they try to do something to reduce that impact. So this project, the FIRSU project, is aligned very specific with our strategy because it's solving the issues, environmental problem about the CO2 emissions. Is taking off all the wastes in the landfills in the cities, and is generating some savings in the economic area because we are now using fossil fuel for us and for the generating this kind of products to generate energy.
Okay, thank you, Arturo. Right now I understand the relation with the vision of CEMEX and this innovation. Arturo, I understand the benefit of this innovation, but can you tell us how this innovation works, or what are the processes and whatever you want to tell us?
Yes, well, all begins in the municipal landfills,
Okay.
where all the waste arrives from the recollection of the municipality. So in the landfill, we have to install an equipment who classify the waste. So we classify the waste in organic and inorganic, because we use just the inorganic waste.
Okay.
So when we classify and separate the inorganic waste, we
Sorry, can you tell us examples of inorganic waste? Okay.
Yes, of course. We are separating as inorganic waste plastics, textiles, conglomerates, and goods.
Okay.
We took all the kind of waste,
Okay.
we separate them, and then we transport to our cement plants.
Okay.
We have a facility in our cement plants to co-process the waste, and we take advantage of the heat of the oven, who's burn the waste,
Okay.
and we have a closed circuit that allowed us to kidnap the emissions,
Okay.
and we didn't release to the environment.
Okay.
So that emissions get into the circuit again,
Okay.
and it helps with the heat of the emissions and the heat of the oven to burn all that waste that we have, and that allows us to heat the oven.
Okay. Okay.
So we are replacing all the fossil fuel we used by this kind of waste.
Okay. I see the benefit in the landfill community and in the facilities of CEMEX by reducing the use of fossil fuels, but you have like a transportation between the community and the facility. So what about that transportation? The dump trucks use fuel. Can you tell us about that? That it's a problem.
Yes, actually, the transport is always a problem. It's always one of the contributors to the CO2 emissions, right? So the transport is something that we can't take off of the equation, but we are trying to to figure out how can we reduce the impact of the transport of the waste, because it's certainly that you take off a problem from the city who generate the waste, but that waste you take into another city or another community.
Okay.
So that community is not used to see the quantities of waste that they don't generate. So the quantity of the fuel that we use in the transport is not comparable with the quantity of the fossil fuel we use to burn, to heat the oven. So we are trying to work together with the communities to have a local impact. So we are trying to employ the people of the communities near our cement plant to have a different roles to be part of the project.
Okay.
So we need more people who to help us to implement the project. So the people of the communities are participating with us and are involved in the project as they are. So they are helping us, and that's the way that they are conscious that the project is benefit not just the community, instead all the resources that we have in the earth.
Okay. So you told us about a good impact from CEMEX to the communities near the CEMEX plants. So can we talk about the impacts in the business, like in the environment and in a social way that this innovation has?
Yes, for example, we are improving the health of the people living near in landfills of 8 cities in Mexico.
Okay.
That we have implemented the project, and we also are improving the living condition of 24 communities around the cement plants.
Okay.
We have 15 plants, cement plants in Mexico. So we are creating jobs by installing not only the co-processing plants in the CEMEX facilities, instead the separation plants in dumps for the FIRSU transportation. The transportation of the FIRSU is being made by the people of the communities. And a little numbers of the benefits of this project is that we are eliminating more than 70,000 tons of FIRSU per year, and we are reducing more than 70,000 tons of CO2 per year.
Okay.
So these numbers are very good for us.
Okay. That numbers are for Mexico.
Yes.
Only for Mexico. Okay.
Yes. We have implemented the project in 8 plants
Okay.
in Mexico, and our plans is to extend the project to the remaining 7 plants that we have.
Okay, and in terms of business, what is the economic impact of this innovation?
Well, nowadays we have the substitution of
Okay.
30% of the fossil fuel we used in our cement plants
Okay.
by FIRSU. So if you can imagine the 30% of the quantity of fossil fuel into the garbage is a great number, and we are expecting to increase that percentage. So nowadays the number of the total energy we use in the cement plants rise to 17%
Okay.
of replace of fossil fuel by FIRSU.
So, thank you, Arturo. With this, I understand the short-term effects of this innovation, but can you tell us about the long-term effect that the use of FIRSU will have for CEMEX and for the communities and for the environment, whatever you can say, tell us.
Yeah. Well, CEMEX has a strong commitment to ensure that all the CEMEX operation is not depending on fossil fuels. So this project is one part of that effort, but we have another kind of efforts trying to replace the fossil fuels in our operations. We have, for example, an aeolic farm in many states in Mexico. We have one in Oaxaca. We are investing other in Tamaulipas. We are trying to invest also in a solar farm in Mexico and try to expand the FIRSU project. So the long-term commitment is that CEMEX not depend on the fossil fuels. We have another commitments in the long term, like work more closer with the local governments, with the municipalities, to ensure that we help with the problems that they could have with the waste, with the problems that the landfills could generate. So we're committed to work with them also.
Arturo, thank you for your time. Thank you for your patience explaining to us. And let me tell you, at the beginning of the interview, I came here with some doubts about how a big company like CEMEX can have or can make an impact not only in its business but also in the social and environmental environments. So thank you. This is exactly what we're looking for. Thank you for your time again, and see you.
Thank you, Enrique. With pleasure.
Okay.